get the fuck up. Simon says, get the fuck up. Throw your hands in the sky.
Swede Burns here. Other than my toxic relationships, I'm probably best known as a powerlifting coach, 2016 Powerlifting Coach of the Year. I'm here with my ace, JP Carroll. And we're gonna kind of hijack the table talk for today and do an episode for you guys with some questions that we got from our social media yesterday. This first one's for me. Question was, Swede, as FistSet has evolved, would you still have people new to the methodology start with the original principles? That's a two-part question, but to answer the first part, yes, because none of the principles have changed. None of the main stuff has changed. There's just additional stuff, new options, new protocols. And some of the stuff, quite frankly, I didn't include in the original book because it was too complex, and I didn't want to scare people off. I mean, I had people that actually said, if you could believe it, the FistSet was too complex the way it was. So, you know, it is what it is. Now that it's gained so much popularity and is so well proven and so well known to work, you know, I'm comfortable, revealing another layer of complexity to things in terms of the way that I sequence assistance work and stuff that I do with my more advanced lifters. So yes, none of the original stuff has changed. And the second part of that question was, during its evolution, did you see a need for it to evolve with beginners implementing it, more experienced lifters, or just saw that it could be more efficient? And as far as that goes, the biggest issue that you run into with on the long term, looking at a macroscopic view of powerlifting, is adherence. Nobody wants to stick to a given method or protocol for an extended period of time. And so that's why you have so much program hopping and stuff like that that's just really counterproductive. So the idea was, why don't I take some of the things that I reserve more for advanced lifters and see if they could be practically applied to the beginner population? Because that was really how FistSet started to begin with, in terms of how I'm applying it to people. I had people that I was using it with that were, very quickly became advanced. And people that are also, one of the bigger questions that I get is the jumps from week to week. When you add 5 pounds to the bar for a person that has a 100-pound max, that's a 5% jump. But that's what they need. Quite frankly, it gives you what you need. The program has always done that. It's prescriptive and diagnostic in that it determines, whereas somebody whose 1 rep max is artificially lowered by meagerness of body or underdevelopment, okay? They're failing for different reasons than an advanced lifter will. So their 1 rep max is artificially lower. It's usually issues of stability that cause that. They need more hypertrophy. Those people tend to get higher reps on their FistSet. They tend to get 10 or even 15 sometimes reps, which that's the best recipe you could possibly get for, I'm not saying you, now that was the old protocol. Okay, that's why we kind of jacked the numbers down a little bit to allow more advanced lifters to take it to the next level, with them also being able to get that additional benefit of concurrently training hypertrophy and strength. But so there's that. It's not that anything has changed.
Why are you
but
so popular, man?
My stuff's going off while we're talking. So yeah, there wasn't really much of a demand for me to change anything. It was just that people want additional options, and as I've experimented with the new stuff, I found that some of the stuff does work even better. Certainly the sequencing system, the way that I sequence assistance work, is a lot better, especially for advanced lifters. Whereas beginners can get away with just changing something when it doesn't work, And that comes back to the law of accommodation, which is something that people like to go on about a lot. The idea that if you use a training means for an extended period of time, it will lose its training potential eventually, and that's absolutely true. But what these ham-handed approaches to fix that, where you change the exercise every week or every 3 weeks, don't take into account, is that the training potential goes up for a training means, before it goes down. So in other words, if you just change it every week or every 3 weeks, you're never reaping the full benefits of that movement or that protocol or whatever that is. A training means, by the way, I should probably define that. A training mean is any exercise together with the protocol that you use to apply it. So like sets and reps and a given movement that you're using it for, that would be considered a training means. So there's that. Now we got one for JP. First one is, you mad, bro?
Yes.
Yes. That goes without saying.
Yeah, pretty much. Who said that?
That was Christian.
Oh, he already knows.
Yeah, he knows. All right, you're a seasoned lifter. Was it difficult to have someone else completely take the reins on your training?
Yes and no. It was at first. You get into your own ways and you feel you got everything going, but I hit a point to where I was just kind of plateauing. Actually, things started going backwards. So I got injured, and Swede kind of suffered the same injury. This was obviously much more traumatic than mine, but a pec injury. And so that's why I started looking him up. And then after we talked, we kind of just went and I just let him take the whole thing over, and it seems to be working a little bit.
There's history from there. It's going pretty well, I would say, at this point, right?
Yeah.
He just smoked a 585 bench in training in his peaking cycle.
Yeah.
Going into this meet, so
pain-free on top of that.
Yeah, and that's the idea, staying healthy. Having that sort of proactive, like I was saying, macroscopic view. For me, my whole perspective is about taking a long-term approach. Not looking at things in terms of the course of a training cycle.
We take a lot of shit for that too over the last few months.
Right,
the Arnold and all that.
Right, and that's the thing is everybody wants to see you bleed on the platform.
Yeah,
they
fucking blitzkrieg.
Yeah, they want to see you. Almost your knees explode and everything. Fucking.
Yeah.
They want to see the wheels fly off of it. But if you drive it like it's stolen, you don't get very far. And you definitely won't get as far as you could.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing. When you consider athletic performance, there's a bell curve for sports performance in any discipline, okay? There's people that are on the left side that no matter what they do, they're gonna suck. There's the medium portion where most of us sit, and then there's people on the right side that are more in the realm of guys like JP.
Plus, I think the approach we're taking too is probably, I'm not young, I'm 37 in a couple weeks. I feel like it's given me a couple extra years to keep working because I was running myself in the ground for a while. And literally after that meet after Arnold, I squatted 3 days later. I felt fine. I never felt fatigued. It was great. Everything was good. I felt ready to go right away again. And that's never happened to me before at all. I've always 6 weeks still feeling like shit and having to,
when we finished the meet, when you were still on the platform, you were like, I feel great. I never felt like this
twice
in a powerlifting meet, and that's how you should feel.
I could have competed twice that day, legitimately.
People underestimate the value of peaking and having like I said, that long-term approach.
Everybody wants to peak in the gym for the Instagram videos, man.
They just want to, or they're always running a peaking cycle. They're always training over 90%, and the issue with that is that you're not able to really make any foundation improvements. You know what I mean? In that way. Even if you are running a concurrent system, if the main work is not ever volume based, you're not going to make the improvements that you need for those lifts. The absolute best assistance exercise for any given movement is that movement or something very similar to it. So I think that the vast majority of the volume that you do in training should be carried out in that manner. And what I was saying to wrap that up about the bell curve thing is that somebody like JP could outperform everybody doing whatever he wants, but it's a very short career, and he would never have been able to reach what he would be able to, what he will be able to, and that's what I want to see. I want to see guys that have potential like that go as far as they're capable of, without kind of railroading themselves, because we have an attitude where you just want to put your head against the wall.
And that's what I was going to touch on. One last part of that, of letting him take the reins, is it's not even really just the training and everything, it's just keeping the mental part of it. Don't go crazy. Just try to, I definitely want to take 600 the other day, arguing back and forth. But
accountability is a big thing.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's nice to have the other person in your ear telling you, yeah, you could do it. Sure, you can, but is there a point?
Right. Yeah, I'd rather you do
it. That's probably the best part of taking the reins, as they put it.
Yeah.
Keeping me in check, because I'll just do stupid shit.
And the same goes for me, man. I'm the same way. I'm a bull. That's all I know how to do is charge. When it comes to myself. But for other people, I'm a little bit. Obviously, that's where I've excelled.